So welcome everyone. We are going to show how to create your Who Do You Know list. Here we are on the training funnel. If you want to access this, just go to thearmyofyouth.com/training, and we're looking at the step that says create your Who Do You Know list. The foundation of evangelism is using our relationships to connect others to Christ. And to be able to share Christ with others, it's really not about knowing a lot of people. It's not about who you know, it's about who you meet and how you meet them. What we're talking about here is an exercise that will help you to understand, first of all, like, who do you know? Because a lot of times we want to go reach the world, we want to go like share Christ with everybody and proclaim the gospel to a bunch of strangers. But Luke 16:10 says, if we're faithful in that which is least, we'll be faithful also in much. If we're unjust in that which is least, we'll be unjust also much. So in other words, looking at your sphere of influence right now, you have a little flock. Every man, woman, and child has an influence. You know people, but out of the people that you know, like, who may be willing or interested to be able to see something that you have to offer. And it starts with taking inventory and seeing who do you know. So what we want to do is we want to we want to open this worksheet, and you can click make a copy, and then you'll access this Who Do You Know list, and this is designed to help you to understand who to reach out to. And this exercise is designed to go through with your partner. This is like a one-on-one exercise, or you could do it with a few, or just kind of hold a workshop or something with some of your leaders or people who are interested. Anyone who has an evangelistic heart. It doesn't have to be formal. It doesn't have to be like scheduled, although you can do it and be a blessing to. But like, you could do this very simply. But this is helping you to identify your new contacts and create your list very quickly. Having things in the mental, like just keeping a mental list is not good enough, because our brain has a hard time remembering all these things. And then when you want to, if you want to take the effort to invite someone and you actually think like, who do I know that I want to share with? Then you're thinking every time that you're like, all right, this is a time I'm available, I'm ready, I could reach out to someone and talk to them about the squads. But then you're sitting there spinning your wheels thinking, well, who do I invite? Who do I share? And a confused mind is a paralyzed mind. So having a written list allows you to batch decide who are the people that you know first, determine who you're going to invite. So then when you have the pockets of your time, and when you have like a moment where you're like, hey, I could reach out to someone about the squads, I could let them know, you're not wasting any time questioning, who do I share with? And then not doing anything because you don't know. You already have a list. You're like, all right, now's my time. Where's my list? You pull it out and it's written. Having a written list allows you to quickly find the people that you're looking for. So this is it. I'll read the description. It says, do you know anyone who wants better health, more freedom, or peace in their life? This sheet will help you to create your initial list of friends, prayer contacts, and others to share the gospel with, so you can get started on your missionary journey. Keep this list near your desk, refrigerator, or another prominent place so you can remember to share this life-changing message with people you care about, such as your family, friends, or neighbors. Once you've gone through this list, start another what?
Another list.
Another one. It's easy. So this is an ongoing list, and I would encourage you that, first of all, this document has a section where you can add names there. But you don't have to use this document. If you want to and it's easy for you, just print this front and back, you can, and create another list. Otherwise, you can use a notebook or a journal. I like to use a program called Notion, and that's where I keep my Who Do You Know list. And you could write it on a piece of paper, or like, it doesn't matter where you capture the list. What matters is that you have the list. And if you put it in a prominent place, a lot of times, like, what you focus on grows, and just having these reminders in Deuteronomy 6, it talks about putting the word of God on the doorposts, so there'd be a constant reminder. In like manner, if you have your Who Do You Know list, you put it somewhere prominent on your work desk or on the place, or where's a space in your day that you usually think about groups, that you have groups, or put it somewhere visibly so it stands out, so it reminds you like, oh, let me like pray for these people. And the foundation of evangelism largely is like prayer. Prayer is what is going to make this work or not. So the question is, are you praying for your contacts? I learned when I was doing Bible work, day one, the first part of training, they're like, here is your contact journal, and you're going to maintain a list of everyone that you meet, and you're going to write down their name and pray for them. This list is more than just who you're inviting. This list is who you're praying for. These are the relationships that you have, the people that you know. One of the most valuable skills that you can have in life in general is the people that you meet and the relationships that you maintain and the value that you add to the people in your life. So this is a very valuable skill, whether you're doing evangelism or not. But in evangelism, it's so much better where you're able to actually pray for these people, and you write down their prayers, and you go back and you say, hey, how is your leg doing? I know that you got into an accident. And they're like, oh, it's doing so much better. And I mean, some simple stuff. But it starts with a who do you know list. Now, one thing that I want to say regarding this is, like at the bottom, it shows that the names should come from the contacts in your cell phone, your email database, your social media connections, and the local community. Social media may also include Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter followers, LinkedIn connections, things like that. A lot of times when we're thinking like, well, who do I know? Who do I know? It's like, look at your friends. Most of you have like over 100 people on a social media platform, whether it's email or YouTube or Facebook or something. Literally pull up your phone, and I would encourage you to do this right now. Do it along with me. But as you go through your phone contacts with your list, you can see just names on there already, and you can make a list of people that you know. And the big part of this is, do not disqualify people. What I tell people is make a list of 100 names as fast as you can. Don't think a lot about who it is and what's on there or what have you. Just put it out. Just dump all of it as fast as you can. Use your contacts, use your phone, use whatever you can. Make a list of the people that you know, and just write them down. And people are like, whoa, it's like, I don't know if I want to invite 100 people to squads. It's like, no. It's not about, it doesn't mean that you're inviting every single one of those people, but this exercise helps to expand your mind about who do you know and who do they know. Because it might not be like I have a cousin who I know, and he's not attending our squads, but when I think of my cousin, I think like, who do I know through my cousin? Oh, there's a brother named Matty. And then Matty, he actually attends our squads. He comes and he joins, and he enjoys it. And he watches the videos. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's not my cousin, but it's my cousin's friend that ends up coming. But I wouldn't have thought of my friend Matty if I didn't think of my cousin first. And so the reason why you make the list of 100 and you start with that and you do it as fast as you can, then you begin to you're not like pre-disqualifying, like, oh, my cousin's not interested, he's not going to do that, which is like somewhat true, but his friend will, and his friend does. So this is why you want to think, and this is basically a memory jogger to make you think of who are the people that you know that, like, who do you know that recently lost a loved one, or someone who is hurting, who's in pain. Like, the Bible studies, they give fellowship, they give support, they give encouragement. Who do you know that has expressed Bible questions? Maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's a neighbor, maybe it's a friend from church, or like you think of someone in the community and you say, hey, like, who's someone that you could see like is interested in fellowship, or is very active during Sabbath school, or is really interested in spiritual things? Who do you know that recently moved? If they recently moved, then chances are they're looking for connections, fellowship, friends, something to do. They're open to change. They're looking for something. Who do you know that is social, who's friendly? Like Sister Giselle thought of a brother Brother Samuel, he's very social and friendly, and he talks to a lot of people. Invited him in, and on his first day of coming to the squads, we're like, hey, we're going rapidly, we need leaders. And he's like, I'm interested, and he raised his hand, and he's been leading a squad for a while, and now they're ready to split. So it's just like thinking of who do you know that's having a disappointment, who's experiencing a hard time. Because like the studies are often described as being very practical, very life-changing, very relevant and helpful. So they're talking about what we go through on our daily lives. Who do you know that recently lost a job? Who do you know that has computer or internet skills? Who is a people person or who is recently baptized? Some new Christians, and think, like, really ponder. And this is a prayerful process. Ask God, like, God, who do I know that is enthusiastic? Who do I know that's spiritually inclined? Like, maybe they're not like too advanced along their spiritual walk, but maybe they have some inclination. They want to come closer to Christ. These are evangelistic tools. You don't have to qualify like a certain denomination or a specific group of people that only these people are able to come. We're here for evangelism. We want to reach all who are interested in the Word of God. So by writing this down and making a list of who are the people that you know, I would recommend that people start with the first list of 100 as fast as they can, and then and don't worry about what you're going to say or what's going to happen from there. Just make the list first, and then the next step would be to then consider to work with someone in leadership or someone who you're working with, and then ask them, like, all right, so I have this friend, what do you suggest that I say to them? What do you suggest that like I could share with them in a way that they'd be interested? If you find someone who has more experience, talk to them about how to invite people, because a lot of times we just go and we go blindly in and we're just like, hey, you should come check out the squad, and people are a little turned away with that. But when you have a method, when you have a system, a way that works for inviting people, it makes a really big difference. So here you want to think, like, who do you know? Who do you see at church? Who do you see at the grocery store? Who do you see at community events? Who do you know from school? I know we have Sister Giselle. She's a squad leader, and a lot of her contacts came from school when she was in university, and she kept in contact with them a little bit. And she's inviting them, and so the place is blown up over in Trinidad with different people who are coming to the small groups, and they're loving it. And so we just want to think, like, this is to jog our memory, and you don't have to come up off the top of your head. Like, literally, if you're not using social media contact list, if you're not using an email list or your phone contact list, then you're really not tapping into the power of who you actually know. And this exercise is very expansive in it, and what it does is it increases our awareness to realize, oh, there's actually more people I know than I realize. I come in contact with more people than I think. And then you can ask the question, like, well, why? What do I know about them? What do I know about something they're interested in, or something they want, something that they've expressed that the squads has to offer, or something I can offer them? And it may not even be the squads. It might be that you want to invite them to to a video that you see would help, or a testimony, or just see, like, there might be like a YouTube channel, there might be the squad's Bible study, there might be something that can serve them in a different way. And often when I'm meeting people or I'm thinking about people I know, I ask, what do we have to offer that could help them? What is their need? What is their problem? What is their pain? What is the thing that they're looking to like, what is a service that can be provided this person? How can I serve them? And I see, like, what do I have that can be of benefit or a blessing to them? So I'm thinking about service. I'm not thinking about getting people. I'm not thinking about how can I get people to come to my squad. That's not about it. If we're thinking about getting, it's going to be very difficult to invite them. But if we're thinking about giving and what we're providing and the opportunity we're sharing, then it's like, oh, we share things that we love and that we find enjoyable naturally, things we're passionate about, we just can't help but to talk about. And that's the key of this who do you know list, is making a list and seeing, like, having that list And then just knowing like not everyone's going to be invited, but as you go through, the key is to not prejudge them. There's a lot of people we think would never be interested when just simply invited. They're like, yeah, it's like, you knew this, you never told me. And they come and they're like, this is amazing. And their lives are being transformed. And they're like, how long have you been doing this? It's like, I'm like your close friend. I'm your best friend. Like, we talk all the time. And you've never shared with me the squads? And some people have been like, whoa. It's like, why didn't you tell me sooner? And for me, like, I don't want my friends, I don't want my loved ones to tell me. It's like, you knew this, you never told me. So don't be that person. If you've been blessed or benefited at all by the squads, by the Bible studies, then chances are someone else could be benefited as well. So I would highly encourage us. We could do the who do you know list. So write your who do you know list, whether it's on a piece of paper, whether it's printing this out, or whether it's on Notion under a table database, or however you want to do that. Make your list, get that started, and then move on to the next step of inviting the people in your list. We can turn off the recording.